to talk about obnoxious submission. So this is often kind of miscategorized as overexcitement, and they're semi-similar in their kind of displays of behavior. But I currently have a dog that initially, I know the owners pretty well. They come to my advanced training club Monday nights. I know the dog fairly well because of that. We're doing a 9-day board and train, which is not something I typically offer, but again, I know these owners very well, so I was willing to kind of accommodate it for them. But initially speaking with them, seeing the dog, we kind of classified a lot of these behaviors as overexcitement. But now that I have the dog in my care, and I've kind of been seeing her a little more closely because I've got her kind of 24/7, mom and dad aren't here to save her. It's definitely more on the obnoxious, submissive side of things. So I'm going to pull her out and I'm going to kind of show you guys how I deal with this, and some tips and tricks if you're dealing with this at home. Some of her issues, of course, overexcitement. A big one is urination. So even though she is potty trained, she goes outside, all of that good stuff. Mom and dad did a great job with training. She gets over submissive and she will start to pee. That's different than her being overexcited and squirting out a little bit of pee, like we might see with smaller dogs, puppies, stuff like that. This is a submissive behavior. It's her going, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, I'm sorry for my existence. And it is something you can fix. Overstressed anxiety. And we want to do a lot of confidence building behaviors with the dogs, which this dog is actually working on some scent detection, so that's great. We want to kind of see some more independent behaviors, I think, for this dog. And then, of course, teaching her that what she wants, which is affection, is gained through calmness, not flipping over on the floor. So just like if we had an overexcited dog that's jumping on us and being a lot, the same thing is going to go for this dog. And when you see her, you're going to definitely see the submissiveness versus boisterous dog that's jumping on you and really being pushy. This dog is being very, very submissive. Alright, so this is Bonnie. You can see she's already giving me some submissive behavior here. She's very tucked in. One thing I do before these sessions is I do make sure the dogs go to the bathroom first. Of course, she still may pee on the floor. That's why we are not on a rug. We are on my vinyl floor that I can clean. And I'm going to wait for her to kind of chill out. I don't need any leashes right now. She is on e-collar, just to kind of help keep her where I need her if she kind of starts zooming off. But I'm going to wait for her to calm down, and then I'm going to kind of approach and pet her. She wants attention, so she is doing a little bit of that jumping, bratty behavior, but mostly, good girl. No, she's being very submissive, so I'm not going to let her, I'm not going to reward this behavior where she's cowering down to the floor. I will reward her for being calm and confident. I'm also not doing a whole lot of trying to grab her attention. So I don't want to add excitement to this. There's already a lot of energy, there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of, a little bit of excitement. She does want to come see me. So I'm trying to be fairly neutral. Good girl. Good. Good girl. And if she starts doing her submissive stuff, I'm just going to back away calmly. Good girl. Good job, Bonnie. That's a good girl. Good. No. Good. Good girl. And you can see on her face she's a little bit stressed, and I'm sure her body language as well. But just being really calm here is going to do a lot. And this is hard when you are reading with other people. So what I'm probably going to recommend to her owners is be very specific about who you allow to greet her for now. So if someone's coming over to the house that maybe they're not the best at following directions, I have a beagle in for boarding if you can't hear it. But you know, if they can't follow directions very well, or maybe they're just not good at dogs, I might just kind of put her away if they come over. But if you do have someone who is very good at following directions and being nice and calm with the dog, then by all means practice. Come here. Good girl. She's trying to go back to her kennel. You know, by all means practice this. So here we're being excited. I'm not going to reward it. Good girl. And when she is wandering away, I'm just doing some kissy noises to coax her back. I'm not trying to do too much. I don't really want to make it a full recall, so I'm not calling her name. I'm also not really using my e-collar. That's literally for if she's not, you know, 100% not coming back to me. But for this, I'm just trying to kind of coax her back over here. We know she wants attention. I just have to teach her how she can earn that attention. So combining this with some confidence building exercises is going to make a big difference for her, and it may actually help stop that urination that we're seeing that she's really not liking. The owner and me, everybody does not like that. It was actually so severe that we were working on her place, and the owners have this really cool, unique place bed, so that they brought it with them. So we're training on that because it looks a lot different than my beds. Good girl. No. And if she jumps on me, I just move away. I just make it not work. I'm not worried about punishing her right now. Also, don't mind the muddy mess. It is raining outside and I have many dogs. So I've been up since 4 cleaning. This is the best you got. But it was so bad that every time I would come back to reward her on the bed, she was peeing. So I'm now trying to figure out how to deconstruct this bed to wash it. So literally just me coming over to give her a handful of kibble was too much for her to not urinate. So stuff like that you don't have to live with. You know, behaviors you don't like, you don't have to live with. It does not have to boil down to, well, that's the dog's personality. You can always improve things. You may not be able to make stuff completely go away, but we can improve a lot. So kind of think about how she looked at the beginning of this session where she was rolling over on the floor. Here we've got a little bit more confidence. She's standing up, she's looking at me. I'm letting her kind of be pet, hang out. She's pushing into me a little bit. I don't mind that too much because I want her to get a little bit more confident, a little bit more pushy. We can always kind of backtrack and fix that. And of course, temperament can have a lot of influences. So it's hard to say whether this is genetic, whether it's environmental, whether it's learned, like what's going on with it. But I think with dog training, it's kind of a good balance of, you know, you should care about the why a lot of the times with behavior, but you shouldn't be so focused on the why that you're over here trying to be a detective. You need that balance of figuring out the why, but also focusing on the solution and holding the dog accountable. And holding, you know, anybody accountable, I think it just boils down almost just in respect. So even though she kind of is a little bit of a hot mess sometimes, I'm able to hold her accountable and give her a standard that I know she can achieve. Good girl. So I know she can achieve this standard, so I'm going to start holding her to this standard, and that's what she really needs at home. And you see she's not jumping, she's not peeing, she's not rolling over on her back anymore. We got a nice little stress shake there, tells me she's relaxing. So I'm really happy. And I didn't even need any food, I didn't need any tools for this session. This is all about just letting the dog figure out what works for them and what they want. Good girl, Bonnie. We're gonna do another session with Bonnie here real quick. I want to start introducing secondary rewards. So a primary reward would be if I put food like directly in front of her face, that would be a primary reward. But because I'm going to be putting this treat and train off to the side here. This is called a secondary reward. She's going to break and go get her reward. So all I'm going to do to start with is I'm going to introduce her to the machine. She doesn't seem to have a problem with it at all, which is a little bit surprising for her. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the tone. So just like I mark good in my training to signal that the dog is about to get rewarded, this machine will also produce a tone. So we're just in the conditioning phase of the sound. In a second here, I'm going to pull out a place bed and we're going to do some place with this. Having these secondary rewards like this takes me out of the equation. So if your dog has a lot of handler dependency or has a lot of social issues like she kind of does, she's a little bit nervous, I can have the dog kind of learn to reward themselves from the environment and be less worried about what I'm doing. Bed. Yes. Great. And she obviously needed a little bit of coaching to hop off the bed and go reward herself here. That's totally fine. I really don't mind that. It's a pretty good problem to have. And again, this is mainly just confidence building exercises. I'm not worried about super clean, fancy, nice obedience. We're literally just playing hop on, hop off, stuff like that. Super casual, so I'm not really doing a whole lot of corrections right now. That's part of the reason I'm not using her specific bed that they brought with them. I'm using my outdoor one because I want this to be more of a fun game right now rather than a really hard, like, challenging training session. I'm trying to boost up some confidence here. Bed. Bed. No. Bed. Bed. No. Bed. No. Bed. 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 No. Bed. No. Bed. And while we're just training in the background of this, I have to give this announcement every video that I'm in my yard. Yes, there's no grass. No, I'm not going to plant grass. I rent. The only investment I'm willing to make are the lights I installed on the fence this morning. My dogs will tear up the grass. Also, please don't mind my neighbor's yard. Yeah. Bed. Bed. No. Bed. Yes. Get it. Bed. She definitely started getting tired here towards the end, so I wanted to get a couple good reps in and then call it. But for the next couple days, I do have like kind of a short time frame with her. But for the next couple days, we are going to be kind of working a lot of more games like this kind of thing. We still have some impulse control to work on with her as far as distractions go outside, like cats and things. But I do really want to spend a lot of time getting this confidence up, especially while she's away from her humans. I want her to kind of get a little more independent and get a little bit more confident in there, because I know she's an awesome dog and we just gotta kind of give her a little bit more of those skills that she needs.
Good. Yes. All done.
And I wanted to do a quick addition here. If you were wondering why at the beginning of this video I had one fat arm, one skinny arm, and now second part of the video I have two skinny arms. Today I got my splint off. I've had a broken arm, for those of you that have been following me for a little bit. And if you don't want to see something gross, just click off the video. This is the end of it anyway. But I'm now a free woman. I got a thumbs up going on here. It's the best I can do. Wrist is fat. We got one. We got two. We are still covered in permanent marker, but I'm free. I still can't carry anything till December, but anything is better than a diaper on my arm, basically. So that's it.